So a couple of days ago, I was talking with one of my friends, and somehow we got to the point of talking about the education system, what's wrong with it, what's right with it, how it should be, and all of those things. And it left me questioning these things and thinking, really deeply thinking about how I would reform the education system. And I'm 14 years old, and making this video at such a young age, I think it's going to be quite a pleasant experience looking back at it when I'm older and more mature and see the thoughts that I was having. Maybe I'll agree with it, maybe I'll think that this is stupid, that this doesn't work, and all that. So firstly, what are the problems with the current education system? Well, I think number one, the one that is obvious, is that most things that you learn, you are never ever going to use in your life. Like 90 or 80, at least 80% of the things that you learn, you're never going to use them. And like, why learn them in the first place? Like, those will then not be useful. Like, okay, if you learn some things in school and maybe you don't use like 10 or 20% of it, but you use everything else. Now it's the other way around. You learn something and you only use like 20 or 10% of what you learn during 12 years of school. So that's an obvious problem. The second problem is, I think, not teaching meta skills. And we'll get into this a bit more deeper later. But meta skills are kind of like skills that help you carry over onto other skills. So, for example, the ultimate meta skill is learning how to learn. Like, if you think about that, schools don't even teach you how to learn. They just tell you to do X without even telling you how to do it. So that's another one. Then there's a lack of individuality. For example, some kids, of course everyone is different, we all know that, but different kids are not treated differently. For example, I have tons of classmates who have self-esteem and self-images that are below the ground, like so unhealthy and very low self-esteem and all that. I think that those kids honestly should not be in a class where there are kids who have too much self-esteem or very healthy levels of self-esteem, because the things that the ones with normal self-esteem will be able to learn is going to be very different than the things that the people with low self-esteem are going to learn. And firstly, that's the first problem that the school should solve, is actually not having any kids with low self-esteem and low self-images, but to have a growth mindset and to help the kids adopt a growth mindset, a healthy and positive self-image, great self-esteem and all that. The next problem, which is common in many households, and it's prioritizing grades above learning. So school overall should be just about learning and nothing else. But now learning has become a lesser priority than getting good grades. Because I know many people who get good grades and are still fucking dumb. And I also know many people who get shit grades and are pretty intelligent. It's like, it's not a common, how should I say it? It doesn't really, it kind of does, but it doesn't ultimately correlate with each other. Someone can get really good, awesome, great grades, but could be really dumb inside and could maybe have no critical thinking or bad thinking. So there's many households and teachers especially prioritize the grades. Then the education system is pretty outdated. It teaches you to learn professions that are not even going to exist within 40 years. Then schools don't teach you any specific knowledge. They don't teach you how to not follow your passion, but how to get really good at something, how to gain mastery in a skill. They don't teach you any specific knowledge. Then schools repress curiosity. They don't really allow you to dig further than what it is that they teach you. For example, if you're interested in a subject that school doesn't teach, well, you don't really have a solution other than to go through the education system and then further go to college or university and then learn from there. But even then, your curiosity is still somewhat suppressed. then it doesn't teach you real intelligence. It doesn't teach you how to be an intelligent, rational, thinking human being. It doesn't teach you how to have a growth mindset. It doesn't teach you how to get over mental issues, the self-awareness, positive self-image, all that. It doesn't teach you any of it. It just tells you to learn this and learn that and get good grades, get a good job, retire after 40 years, and then you'll be happy. And we all know that this is pretty much a lie nowadays. So here's how I would reframe the education system. And I've been thinking that might be my life's task. Maybe I'm supposed to reframe the education system, but I don't know. Who knows? The future can turn out anyway. But here's what I think at 14 years of age. So firstly, grade 1 to 2 should be about learning the basics, the fundamentals, like math and learning how to read, 1 plus 1 is 2. Then reading the stories that help the kids adopt a growth mindset, help kids adopt positive thinking, and all that. So the basics, the fundamentals. Then there are grade 3 to 4 is going to focus on principles, virtues, and habits. Principles like, be good, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Virtues like temperance, justice, courage, and wisdom. Habits, how to build habits, how to break habits, the habit that you should adopt, so like all about them. Then I think grade 5 to 8, this is where the kids are a bit more mature. I think this is going to be the meat of all of what the kids are going to learn. And it's going to be entirely focused on meta skills. And as we discussed earlier, meta skills are skills that help you adopt other new skills. For example, the ultimate meta skill is learning how to learn. This should be one of, if not the most important thing the school system teaches you to do, but it does not do yet. So meta skills are learning, communication, finances, curiosity, creativity, personal development, self-improvement, problem solving, critical thinking, self-awareness, adaptability, emotional intelligence, having a growth mindset, productivity, leadership, cooperativeness, and I think the most important foundational meta skill of all, which is health. And grades 5 to 8 are going to focus entirely on mastering these skills. For example, like half a semester will be on communication, half a semester will be on finances, then smaller ones will be on curiosity, creativity, growth mindset, leadership, productivity, all of those things. And I think this is going to be the meat and the most valuable part of the education system. And then finally, grades 9 to 12 are going to focus on like the normal school stuff, learning maths, learning about Pythagoras and Archimedes and physics and chemistry and biology and all of those things. So yeah, I think this, and the reason that the grades 9 to 12 are still important, learning about physics, this is the things that probably most people will not use the majority of. But I think it's still important because it helps the students discover what they love doing, what they like doing, what they enjoy, what they're passionate about, what they're good at. And so that's why I think that this is important, because if you don't give the kids those opportunities, then they won't know what to do with their life, and that's not something that we want to do. And this school system that I designed here, it's nothing professional, like I haven't thought it over or anything. But as a basic outline, I think it's pretty good. And if we imagine for a second that the school system would actually adopt this, I think it wouldn't only do better for the kids, but also for the future of our countries and our entire society. Because the more people are knowledgeable, the more wise we are. That is how we became a dominant, superior species across all other animals, is because we have the power of rational wisdom and knowledge and rational thinking. But we don't teach that in school for some reason. And so if we would be able to teach these, the kids would come out a lot more knowledgeable and a lot more wise with a lot more meta skills. They would be able to build greater and better things. They would be able to lift society up in multiple ways. And I think that this might be the way to living a better future, because I've thought about the meaning of life, and there are many solutions, there are many answers to what the meaning of life is, but I think ultimately it's to make the world a better place, to leave the world a better place than you found it. I think that's right now the meaning of my life, and I think everyone's journey is working towards a goal that will accomplish that. And some general things that I've wrote down here about this school system that I designed is to, for example, have different teachers with different personalities. That means if there is a teacher who is really introverted, teaching a very extroverted class, that we both know that's not really going to work out. So put extroverted teachers with extroverted classes and vice versa and everything. And then different personalities on the same project. In the book Surrounded by Idiots, Thomas Erickson talks about how the best teams are a mix of different personalities, because then, now I won't really get into the book, but the point is that different personalities work well with different personalities, and if a group consists of multiple different personalities, it usually functions the best. Then I also wrote down that personal development or self-improvement, whatever you want to call it, is highly encouraged. That means that the teachers and the students both follow routines and rituals that help them enrich their lives and help them become better versions of themselves and fulfill their potential, gain mastery, etc. Then another massive problem with the school system is that it kind of conditions the kids to not love learning, not love reading, not love studying, because they have to do it. And sometimes they have to do it, but most of the times kids have to sit down to study, to learn, to read something that they really don't want to do. And that kind of conditions the brain that one, studying is bad, reading is bad, learning something new is bad. And this sets up everybody to not live a life where you are always learning. So I think lifelong learning is something that the students should be set up for, so that they do become lifelong learners. Then the final thing I have wrote down is to help the kids adopt the growth mindset, because I see a lot of people, a lot of classmates who have such a fixed mindset, who always blame circumstances, who blame their ADHD or anything, whilst they're literally playing video games all day, and they're saying that they can't study because they have ADHD. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. So teaching people how to have great self-esteem, a great self-image, how to be confident, how to accept themselves, how to be courageous, teaching virtues, and overall adopting a growth mindset. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. And on this journey, because this series is titled Getting $10,000 a Month, I just want to talk about where I'm at right now. So I've finished recording, I think, about 2/3 of the free course that I'm going to be releasing soon. I'm going to record the last part of it right after I'm done recording this one. Then the next task will be to then edit the entire course. That will take a couple of days. Then recording the ads and editing the ads themselves that will go on Facebook, probably. And I've got a really great tip from Alex Hormozi, and that's to record 300 ads, but like not 300 different ones, but like 30 different hooks that will hook the viewer, the first 1 or 2 sentences, and then 10 different main body copies, and then you can mix those all together, and then you have 300 different variations. So we will do that. Then we'll need to edit those, And then all is left is to literally just review the book, review the material, make sure the spelling and the grammar is correct and everything, review the sales copy, everything, make sure that the print on demand company with Shopify is set up, and then I'll launch the ads. And hopefully, I've said this before, but my goal for this month is to just get one single customer for a stranger to buy just one product. And I think if I achieve that, I'll be pretty happy and also make a profit, because I'm pretty sure I can get a customer if I spend thousands of dollars on ads, but I still need to be profitable. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. And remember, it is your moral obligation to become the best version of yourself. So please don't waste your life playing video games. It's not worth it.